Good day everyone, we are the group 1, so our report is all about the Igorot tribes.
Ay, 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 ugaya.
Extensive chain of massive and majestic mountains, rice terraces, hills, U-shaped valleys, rivers, lakes, natural man-made and even hunted games. That's right, this is Cordillera. The term Igorot is an old Tagalog word meaning people from the mountains. For the Igorot's point of view, they are connected to the land like a still unborn child connected to a mother with an umbilical cord. To this day, many of the tribes still practice Thanksgiving rituals. The forest provides an abundant source of wild meat for many families. Children start to fish and hunt at an early age.
Ay,
The Igorot lives in small hamlets scattered among the rice terraces. Wear necklaces made of wild boar tusk and crocodile teeth.
The term Igorot is an old Tagalog word meaning people from the mountains and is a general term used to include all the mountain tribes of the Cordilleras. The Spanish adopted this term. They historically defended their ancestral lands from the invaders as they see land as life where their culture and identity are molded. For the Igorot's point of view, they are still connected to the land like a still unborn child connected to their mother umbilical cord. The Igorot live in small hamlets among the rice terraces. Traditional houses were composed by wooden floors, windowless walls, and pyramidal thatch roofs. There are 6 ethnographic etymological gatherings in the spaces occupied by the Igorots. It is the Bontok, Ibaloy, Ifugao, Isneg, Kalinga, and Kankanae. It is attempting to save their race from the government.
So this is the some tourist destination within the area. First is the Bornholm Park. So Bornholm Park is officially known as Bornholm Park Reservation. It's a historic urban park located in downtown Baguio, Philippines. It was designed by eponymous American architect and Baguio city planner, Daniel Bornholm. It is located in Jose Abad Santos Drive, Baguio City, 2,600 Benguet, Philippines. It covers a total land area of 32.84 hectares. Second, the Banawe Rice Terraces. So, the Banawe Rice Terraces are terraces that were curved into the mountain of Banawe, Ifugao, in the Philippines. So, by the ancestors of the Igorot people, the terraces are occasionally called the 8th wonder of the world. So, it is commonly thought that the terraces were built with minimal equipment, largely by land. And last, the Paoy Church. So, the Saint of Agustin Church, commonly known as the Paoy Church, is a Roman Catholic church in the municipality of Paoy, Ilocos Norte in the Philippines. So, completed in 1710, the church is famous for its distinct architecture, highlighted by the enormous buttresses on the sides of the back of the building.
Defining characteristic for an indigenous group is that it has preserved traditional ways of living, such as percent of historical reliance upon subsistence-based production based on pastoral, horticultural, and for hunting and gathering technique.
So in terms of the livelihood of the Igorots, they do weaving, planting rice, planting root crops such as corn, potatoes, carrots, sweet potatoes, and some Igorots also do wood carving. Rice is the staple crop for the Igorots, and they have built some of the biggest and most advanced rice terraces in the world. Traditional loom weaving provides a livelihood for a number of different communities within the Cordilleras. The finished product may be sold locally or sent to the Baguio. Much of the culture and life in the Cordilleras revolves around the rice. From planting to harvest, each period represents a time that is honored and sacred in its own way. Aside from the rice cultivation, there are numerous agricultural products grown in Cordilleras because of the altitude and cool temperature.
So the state of tourism in Cordillera. So the Philippines country where the ancient tribes is luring visitors to come and immerse themselves in its original culture. So the Tourism Bureau is emphasizing genuine interaction with local population, including visit to tribal villages. The Cordillera region is bountiful in natural resources and mineral deposits. So metallic ores such as gold, copper, silver, and zinc can be divorced in that area. So sand, gravel, and sulfur are examples of non-metallic deposits. So mining is focused on Benguet despite the fact that mineral riches are scattered throughout the province. The majority of Cordillera residents work in agriculture and small-scale production. So many of the tribes still use woven fabric and ornate traditional clothes to display their culture. So the Igorot live in Cordillera mountain ranges in the north. Rice cultivators are what they are known for, and in actuality, the Banawe Rice Terraces, one of the Philippines' most famous historical and architectural monuments, so were erected by the Ifugao, a subgroup of the Igorot tribe. So the Cordillera is one of the Philippines' most popular tourist destinations. It has a lot of beautiful scenery and enchantingly cool spots. The eighth wonder of the world is the world-famous Banawe Rice Terraces in the province of Ifugao. The United Nations Organization for Educational Science and Culture, or UNESCO, has designated this structure as it is believed to be between 2,000 to 6,000 years old. The Sumabing Caves in Sagada and the Mami Caves in Benguet and Mount Province are among the region's other tourist attractions. So Casamata Hill, Mount Pulag, the tallest mountain in Luzon, Mount Data, and Balbalasang Balbalan are the four national parks in the area.
Igorot's art, music, dance, handicraft, literature, language, and history are all cultural factors that tourists admire. They should maintain and preserve it so tourists can experience it as well. Igorot's clothing is very significant and unique, such as wearing long pieces, hand-woven undergarments, and revealing tattoos in their body. It is one way to catch up tourists to entice with their tribe. By making seminars on how to wear their clothing and have an idea why Igorots wear and do that, they can immediately gain more tourism revenue. By making travel ads among the festivals in Cordillera Administrative Region, they can eventually gain the attention of the potential tourists. Their rigid desire to adapt to the culture and tradition of the place will supposedly give them an impact to the development of their culture and tradition. Indigenous tribes or members of their communities should participate in tourism by providing tours of their historical places or the communities in which they live. As one of the traditional tribes which is very wealthy in customs, they are preferably in kinship farms. I would like to suggest in-depth study on their tradition, on how or why their culture do that, by making it as an educational subject for all the people in the Philippines. Filipino will now know that their culture is broader, and on this way, they can eventually get enticed to visit the place and see the Igorot tribe. Providing session for all the tourists to learn Kalinga language spoken by Igorot people alongside Ilocano. Get a chance to experience the practice of Igorot, which is kankanae among the tourists and travelers. It can be a great way to catch up tourists to know their tribe. Special attention should be made to the preservation of monuments, worship sites, archaeological and historical sites, as well as upgrading museums, which must be publicly available and accessible to tourism visits. Give tourism stakeholders the assistance on how to develop their business in those indigenous communities in a responsible and long-term manner. Igorot meaning people from the mountains, and this is a general term used to include all tribes from the Cordilleras. We suggest that giving an enhanced attention of the indigenous people in Cordillera Administrative Region. On this way, many tourists will know and see that the traditions, culture, and people within the area. They will catch up not just in the destination, but also to the heartwarming love of Igorot's tribe in Cordillera Administrative Region. It is also benefited that the destination should become promised by the idea of development and systematic designing of traditional and unique destinations. Showcases the beauty and hidden treasure of Cordillera Administrative Region. Give a glimpse of how people treat tourists and how tourists react to indigenous people. Creating mindful projects that can be benefited not just in the destinations but also to the people living there, especially to the indigenous tribe which is the Igorots. One example for that is the creation of jobs.